This is a production of the Oyo State Ministry of Information and Orientation.
Children of the late accomplished businessman and son of Iruwa land, Chief Adeseun Ogundoyin, have donated 5 million naira to the Sickle Cell Hope Alive Foundation, SCAF, to intensify the fight against sickle cell disease in Oyo State and Nigeria at large, in honor of their late father, who was a carrier of sickle cell disease but died on June 18, 1991, at the age of 51. The Ogundoyin family, led by the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, made the donation on the occasion of the World Sickle Cell Awareness Day 2024, organized by SCAF in partnership with the Ogundoyin family. The family also presented medical packs that will last in the treatment of each sickle cell patient, who are also called warriors, for 3 months to over 500 patients across age brackets at the event held at Theophilus Ogunlesi Hall, Ibadan.
So this donation is well received and thankfully received, because this is going to make impact in the life of sickle cell warriors generally. As we know, as the country is currently, the lives of individuals need help. It's not easy living with this ailment. It's not easy living with this condition, and people have to buy their medications. Just inside there, a lot of people were commenting as to how expensive drugs have become. So this is also a way to help these people to achieve better lives and better health, and this is highly commended and appreciated.
Considering my own personal experience, for you to be a warrior, you have to have a lot of money. Apart from having the grace of God, it requires and entails lots of money, because when the crisis comes, you can't predict what will come along with it. I mean the price, and it depends on the episode of the crisis. There are some crises that takes just a day. There are some too, depending on how the crisis is. There are some crises that they will have to admit the patient. The patient will have more than a day in the hospital. So it requires money. So this money will go a long way for most warriors out there, because many are still yet to understand what this warrior thing is about.
Describing the late Chief Ogundoyin as a dogged fighter, the Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Barrister Bayo Lawal, said no condition should define a human being. He acknowledged the numerous accomplishments of the late Chief Ogundoyin and his political influence across the nation.
He was a businessman of note, and just as Prince Dr. Ilade said, he did not limit his friendship with people to Southwest alone. He had friends in the north, in the south, in the southeast, so that when you're talking of business in Nigeria of that time, you could not but invite Chief Ogundoyin in the business world. Well, I was just telling the right honorable speaker that, do you know that your dad was a great politician? And he said, is that so? I said, he had sponsored a presidential candidate in this country, to my knowledge.
Speaking on behalf of the family, the son of the late Adeseun Ogundoyin and Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, appreciated the Sickle Cell Hope Alive Foundation for their many years of dedication to giving hope to people living with sickle cell disease. The Right Honorable Speaker, who is also the chairman of the Conference of Speakers of Nigeria, said the Ogundoyin family will continue to join those at the forefront of the fight by providing drugs and empowering those affected by the deadly disease to honor the memory of a life well lived by their father, his legacy that continues to inspire humanity, and to celebrate the resilience of those living with the disease.
As a nation, we all must rise to the challenge posed by SCD, because 70% of the world cases of the disease occur in Africa, with Nigeria having the highest number of carriers worldwide. We need to come up with policies that will reduce the economic burden of the families by SCD patients who frequently visit hospitals and buy drugs for survival. Hence, they must have unhindered access to free healthcare services, drugs, genetic counseling, parental tests, and comprehensive medical care.
We came from this particular disease. Like I said, my dad, my late dad, he had 4 wives, and the reason his first wife was an AS. he was an SS, was a sickle cell, and then the consequent wives he married, he ensured that they all got a blood test to ensure they were AA. So all his wives after the first wife were AA. So that is just to let you know that he was aware of his condition, and he was aware of the way to actually combat that condition, which was what he tried to do. So it's our way of trying to give awareness to people of how to combat it, just by taking small steps.
To honor their late father, the Ogundoyin family has saddled the Commissioner for Information, Prince Dotun Yiladi, to write a new book titled Passion Beyond Borders, The Untold Story of Adeseun Ogundoyin. Prince Oyelade, who had in June 1992 authored a book on the late Chief Ogundoyin titled Adeseun Ogundoyin, His Life and Times, to mark the first anniversary of his death, said the late Ogundoyin's children have made their father proud.
We took to each other like a leech, as they say, such that he would send me on very sensitive mission, political and business, to up north. That was where I got to meet people like Major General Hassan Usman Katsina and Shehu Musa, the Makaman Nupe, and the former secretary to the federal government, and a host of other very influential politicians and businessmen way back in between 1990 and 1991. That 1 year before he died, about 18 months before he died, was a defining moment in our relationship. And when he died, of course, we all took it in the chin. I mean, it was a catastrophic development. 32 years after, the Honorable Speaker requested me, out of his own volition, to write a book, another book, on his dad. Well, I thank God for preserving my own life too, and I thank God for Chief Adeseun's life, because nothing will stop him. He never allowed the sickness to limit his own possibilities. He was a one-man riot squad. Very brilliant. He would think on his feet very fast.
Prominent members of the Oyo State House of Assembly who honored their speaker at the event said the late Chief Ogundoyin led a legacy of hope which has resonated in the accomplishments of his children.
Someone that gave back to the current speaker of Oyo State, and not just the speaker of Oyo State, is the speaker of all speakers. And for the fact that he was born about 4 years before the father left, and he rose to this level, it's an encouragement for people. And the way you can do it is to remain focused, prayerful, and work hard. Hard work is very, very good. And you should be passionate of whatever you want to do. You don't lose hope. And I'm sure the Right Honorable Speaker, Adebo Ogundoyin, is someone that struggles a lot, and he doesn't lose hope on anything he lays his hands upon.
Mr. Speaker that raised from the 4 years when his daddy died, what I always said, he has a very good parent. Our mother is a very good mother. He makes sure all the kids that was born through Ogundoyin, he has to stand on our fame and raise them to the minimum bias of his own capacity for them to be where they are today. So I believe such thing could happen to anybody. I just have to advise our parents, anyone that is left, to make sure they rise on his feet to take care of the child, but nobody knows tomorrow.
Stating that Nigeria has the highest number of people with sickle cell disease in a keynote address, the Vice Chancellor, Chrisland University, Professor Chinedum Babalola, said early detection, effective treatment, and possible cure has become the focus of sickle cell disease across global platforms. Citing the laudable achievement of late Chief Adeseun Ogundoyin despite his health status, Professor Babalola, who cautioned against stigmatization of patients, challenged all people with sickle cell disease to continue to aspire for greatness and conquer the world.
I pay tribute to a legend, Chief Adeseun Ogundoyin, who survived this disease. He became a billionaire. Can we just appreciate him? He just couldn't be stopped. He kept growing, improving in his education, in his job. Even when he was employed to work, he was excelling. He started his business, he excelled. He went into politics, he excelled. In giving, he excelled. In every way, anyhow you want to look at it, he excelled.
Disclosing that the last 50 years of her life has been dedicated to awareness on sickle cell, the founder, Sickle Cell Hope and Life Foundation, Professor Adeyinka Falusi, said the generosity of the Ogundoyin family has rejuvenated her drive for the worthy cause.
I've been struggling with this by myself for years to do whatever I needed to do, but I thank God that this aid is coming for the first time. Now what it means to me having so many people, it means my awareness is spreading around. And we are catching them young. You see students, we are catching them very well so they can learn about sickle cell disease before they get to that age. We're not waiting till they want to get married. That's too late. I tell the pastors, it's too late. This is the young age. You should teach them the correctness of sickle cell disease so they can learn and be empowered to learn more and be able to make informed choices when the time comes in the future. It's also good to have their caregivers here because those women are going through a lot of suffering, and we are getting them together. We are empowering them so that they will not be sad, they will not be discouraged. They will know that people who love them are standing by them. You see that today now people are talking about giving us national health insurance from your state. I begged them for 4 years and they didn't listen to me. Now they are telling me themselves they are going to empower 800 people free of charge. So I'm so happy that God has made this occasion to come.
Acknowledging the contribution of the late Chief Adesheun Ogundoyin to the fight against sickle cell disease in their addresses at the event, the project lead, Icon Health Foundation, Dr. Chioma Iyekoronye, and a member, Board of Trustee of Sickle Cell Hope and Life Foundation, SCAF, Engineer Ibukun Falusi, appreciated all stakeholders who are instrumental to reducing the burden of sickle cell disease in Nigeria. They called for increased funding for research and more robust support for those living with sickle cell disease.